Good morning, Bill.
Cookies.
Cookies.
Cookie Monster. Good morning, Bill.
I just watched that Office, I think, yesterday, where they're making fun of Kevin with the Cookie Monster voice.
Yes. What are you talking about? I don't talk like that.
And Gabe is like trying to figure out if he can assert authority over it and everything. Like, oh man, it's so funny.
Gabe, the weirdest character ever.
The weirdest character ever. And he's like, he's on Silicon Valley as well, and he's also, in my memory of that show, a little bit weird there.
He is. I think it's. So, have I ever talked to you about this? I had this theory. I've had this theory for a long time. I don't remember what came to me, but that actors are just playing an extreme version of themselves.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. So if you see someone who's typecast, they're actually that's kind of them. No, it's not like truly them, but like it's them with some extreme, added to it. So like, I think there's very few people that can pull off something that's not like. So Ed Norton, for example, is someone who's done some like very dynamic things. Like he is super talented, but like I feel like 95% of all actors are just playing themselves to some extreme version.
Well, it's funny because Melissa and I talk about this all the time, and that there's a big difference between an actual actor and like a star, right?
Yeah.
Like The Rock, as much as I like him, is The Rock in everything that he's in,
Absolutely.
And I heard this comedian talking about Al Pacino once, and he was like, "You remember when Al Pacino was good, and now he just yells loudly, and that's supposed to be enough, right?" And he's kind of true, right? Like.
Yeah.
From Scent of a Woman on, Al Pacino is just like this like one note of a guy. And it's funny because Melissa really does not like Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, okay.
At all, because she has said that since Iron Man, he's just himself in every movie he does. And I was like, well, what about Sherlock Holmes? And she's like, the same thing. And I was like, okay.
Just the Victorian.
Yeah.
Robert Downey. So Chris gave us the GIF, and we can't see those for some reason.
Hold on, did you call it a GIF?
Yeah.
Oh man, do we have to end the show now?
I guess. I thought that was their official name, like by the guy who made them. Like
you call it Jod?
I'm just telling you, I've looked at it numerous times.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
You know what? If English made sense, we'd be talking so different right now.
Okay, that's fair. That's completely fair.
Phonetic does not count for squat in English. But anyway, I looked it up while you were talking there, and it's like this little kid going, "Burning," like barely up.
Thank you, Chris. GIF is peanut butter.
That's peanut butter.
It goes on your sandwich with jelly or apple butter or on the other piece.
That's the big problem. So if I'm the guy that invented this amazing piece of technology, I would want people to call it what I called it when I invented it. That's why I finally landed there. You know what I mean? That's the only reason.
What kind? Okay, but it's graphic, not graphic.
I know. I'm with you. It makes perfect sense to do it the other way. I'm just trying to honor a man's memory. Kill me for that. Kill me for that.
What a virtue signal that was.
Here we go. Here it is. It's pronounced GIF, not GIF. How to really pronounce it.
You know what? I can find a meme talking about how Abraham Lincoln doesn't approve of Facebook.
There you go. This more fits our conversation.
Yes, that's perfect right there. Soft G, hard G. Oh man, that's funny.
All right.
Topic of the day, right?
Peanut butter.
No, not peanut butter. Okay. So real quick, I was talking yesterday about how I posted a video. Ray had come in and had made a comment, and it kind of caused me to spiral. Well, Ray was watching the show yesterday, and he reached out because he felt bad. And I was like, man, you didn't do anything wrong, like at all. You gave me your opinion, which is what I was asking for. And if I'm being really honest, you have more skills and more knowledge about sales and selling and are operating at a different level than my target person is, right? Like because he's done so much and he runs a team and he's done all the things that he does. Like he's expecting like a really high level of delivery, and that's totally fine, right?
Right.
This is more for like, let's get you moving, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. So we talked through it. It was super nice of him to like reach out and apologize and feel bad, but like I was like, man, this show is all about like pulling the curtain all the way back and exposing all the flawed perceptions and ideas and thoughts that like we go through. So I saw that thing, I got a little bit butthurt, and then I had to kind of reason my way out of it, and now I'm totally fine, right?
There you go. Perfect.
Man, yesterday was a weird day.
Okay.
Super weird day. I get connected with this person who he's apparently the like branding fellow for coaches and consultants. Like he's gotten like 3 or 4 people to like 2 comma club kind of level, right? Which means that you're selling $1 million in like coaching programs and personal branding programs and stuff. And so we got connected because I got referred to him. And so we're talking about it, and I was like, cool, I'd like to see if there's a way that we could work this out and trade. And he was like, no, I don't do any trades. I was like, okay, cool. I don't think I can work with you then. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I've spent a lot of money on marketing, and a lot of it has been essentially just like kind of setting money on fire, right? And not really doing anything. So I get that you have your pricing, and I respect completely the fact that you want to stick to it, but I'm wanting to work with someone who's going to put a little bit of skin in the game, right? And I was talking about this with somebody else, and they rolled their eyes so hard, and they're like, oh, I hate that line. But
what line?
The skin in the game kind of thing, But and this guy was like, well, what he says makes sense. He goes, look, I don't think I can do it for less or do it for trade. And I was like, cool, fine, you have a policy. I'm curious though, why is this a thing with you guys? And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, I love how all you guys want to like charge the money you charge to build these things, but then like you just put your hands up, right, around the idea of like, oh, hey, this might not convert because your offer might be bad. Okay, well, isn't that kind of what you're here for? A little bit, right? And then I can understand it if it's like an unproven, brand new entrepreneur, brand new coach, consultant, or something like this. You don't know if they can close. You don't know if they can deliver. You don't know if they can fulfill. I get that, right? But all these guys are being fed this line of, well, there's only so much that you can like handle, which I agree with. But I think it kind of gives all these guys a bad name because like it makes it seem like they're very standoffish. They're not willing to like actually partner and work and help and invest in the success of the clients that they're working with, right?
Yes, man, this could go so many ways.
I know.
Yes, so I'll agree 100% with what you just said. I think there is a large stigma attached to that and agencies. I think those go together because there's a lot of agencies that really what their core service is marketing, and then they have websites and all sorts of different things along with it, SEO and PPC and ads and blah 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 blah. But essentially, what you're hiring these agencies for is marketing to get you strong leads, which is why I left agency world. That was a huge part of one of the reasons I left it. There were several, but that was a large one. So you've hit on one of my major pain points there. But to answer, I think specifically what you're talking about. I think expectations. This is a map right back to what you talk about in sales. Selling marketing as a project versus a relationship is 2 completely different outcomes, right? And so the expectation level that goes for those 2 things to me, they're 2 different services. Now the output hopefully is leads for both, but a marketing project is, hey, we have this thing, we're going to try this thing out, we think it's going to work well, and here's our end date. So we're going to build it. We're going to put it together. We hope this is the output. And if you're good at it, it should work. Or it should be something that the client can then just go tune. Okay, we're getting leads, but we want a little more or something. That's a project. And I think that's what most people actually do when they tell you they sell marketing. I don't think there's a whole lot of actual marketing partners out there that don't charge a lot of money because they're around to do what you're talking about. You do the project together, and then you tune it together. You go, this didn't work. Let's try this now. This doesn't work. Why? I don't know. Let's collect the data and let's see what's missing here, and then go put that stuff back in and make it work now, right? And so, I think that's the big hiccup: is most people who do marketing do project marketing, and you get what you get whether you like it or not, which is why the whole thing is burned you in the past. And a lot of us, honestly, I've paid for marketing and been burned.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. Now that doesn't even start to go, were they good marketers, or did they understand your offer? So did they even put it in the right light, or all those other things that come into it?
Yeah, the thing about it is, though, is like, as a sales guy, right? People want people like me to come on and have these conversations, and I don't get paid until they get paid, and you decide to carve out my chunk of it and stuff like this, right? So I'm in this thing until the bitter end, and I don't get paid until like all of these things kind of like fit, match up, and everything else like this. Is it wrong, right? Because here's the thing that I floated to him. I said, look, here's it. If you want $2,500 for this project, okay, not paying you $2,500 up front. And he was just like, okay. And I said, what if we worked out a deal to where, right, I paid some up front, and then you got a portion on the back end to make you whole at like $4,000. Like, I have no problem paying to make somebody whole on the back end once they prove that their like effort and their work is like helpful, right? Because like, if he'd have been like, okay, cool, like, and I would have given him, the down payment yesterday. We get this thing launched, right? He has some skin in the game as far as like investment of time, right? Because he wants to do good work.
Yeah.
But he was just like, yeah, no. And I'm like, okay, I don't really think you're that confident then in what
you're
doing.
I was going to say, but there's probably good reasons. So this is another one of those issues that you go into. This is really dicey. It's weird. So as a salesman, you have 100% control of your outcomes, because you control the process from the beginning to the follow-up to the end of the call. You are the person in charge. Marketing doesn't have that access. I understand that. So that's one of the hesitations to, number one, do it on a 100% performance, because it truly is out of control, right? You don't have access to all that. So I liked what your counter was. Hey, Gabe, to do some on the front and some on the back, because that's something. If you're confident, you go, you know what? I absolutely know that I can make an offer in the service-based industry, B2B, in the 500K to 2 million range. If you fit me and we're a good customer fit, absolutely, I'll take that deal every day, because I know what I do works well. So pay me half up front and pay me half when we hit X amount of leads. Yeah. Right. So yeah, I think that's.
I cannot find a single person who is willing to operate in that light.
Because everyone else pays them the other way. They don't have to. No,
I mean, I get it, right?
That's right.
That's good. Well, I don't know.
You're right.
Eventually, I feel like that is going to have the same connotation as like pay-per-lead agencies, right? They work, but a lot of people don't trust them, right? Because you don't know blah blah blah, all these things and everything else.
What kind of leads you're getting, and
exactly, right?
Well, they're the only ones that have jumped into that arena with both feet, because they'll go, okay, we'll do Facebook ads, and you pay us per lead, and then they'll just go generate a ton of leads, and they'll charge you like a pretty healthy price per lead, but then they're junk leads.
Because they're also dispersed.
Walk the line the other way.
Yeah, and what's crazy is like all these big time players are doing the same thing, right? Like Realtor.com, right, and Zillow, and I'm talking a lot about real estate because we're moving in that direction. Like they'll sell you leads for like $7 a lead, but there's 40 people who also get that lead in addition to you.
Well, and do you know what they consider leads?
What, a form opt-in kind of thing?
Oh, it's even worse than that. It's depending on the service you've gone with, because I know lots of realtors who paid thousands and thousands. In fact, one of them, Wes Haminer. I think I've introduced you to Wes. Wes has paid thousands per month to these people to get leads and to get first in line, because you can even pay for primary access. But they've been to a page and clicked on something sometimes. Like, that's a lead. So once again, the quality of lead you're paying for, because leads are so sought after in that industry, that they can do whatever the heck they want. and people pay.
Well, I mean, there's always going to be like a market for it, right? For sure.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: nobody really wants those leads, right? It's part of the let's be super busy thing, right? I've got all of these leads, right?
It is. And then you can go tell your sales coach, I worked 112 leads. Well, and then your sales coach is like, well, dude, there's something wrong here. If you worked 112 leads, you should have 3 deals under contract at least. You know? Okay, you got them from Zillow. Okay, cool. So you worked 2 leads. Okay. Now we're all right. Seriously, that's how it is.
2 leads.
That's how it is. It's totally. It's garbage.
Oh man, it's crazy.
What's fun is I've sat with Wes in his car as he's gone to show houses and watch him field those calls, and that come straight from those websites, and it's comical. Like he'll get one forwarded to him, and he'll be like, "Hey, it's Wes. How can I help you?" And it's like, I wasn't. Who's this, Wes? Yeah, I was just looking at something, and they forward me to you. It's like, oh, well, I'm a realtor. Are you looking for a house? Well, I mean, yeah, at some point. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're paying for these, Wes? Come on, man. But he's really, really good at building rapport and stuff. So he makes it work. Yeah. He didn't care. Yeah. He'd rather just have the relationship and follow up.
Man, so, if that happened to me and I was getting confused live connects, be like, hey, I'm not here to talk about your auto warranty. Would it make sense to talk about anything? Because this might not have been what you were expecting at all.
Yeah.
And it's You're crazy right, because the qualified lead, right, is such like a huge, broad definition, right? And marketers have one level of it, and like owners have an expectation, which is way over here, right? Yeah. I mean, because there is. I don't believe that like lead gen is like just setting up pins for you to knock down. Like that takes time. It takes a lot of marketing and build out and stuff like this.
Oh, yeah.
And you should have you have to qualify for fit, right? Because you don't want to work with just anybody who's going to pay you. I don't care what you say right now. I don't care who's watching this. I don't care if this is like day 2 for you of being an entrepreneur. You do not want to work with people who are just going to pay you money, right?
Now you want money. That's
yes, you want the money, but you want people to see value in what you do, right? You want to be able to have nice, like nurturing conversations whenever you get together with them, right? Because
bougie apartments to work
in bougie apartments. Like, man,
yeah,
I just thought that was weird, and then I got ramped up about this other thing that I saw, right? Okay. And I know it's just marketing, right? But this guy was talking about how. He's another sales coach, right? And he's got some of the more, like, I guess, old school techniques. I mean, on the surface level of it. I haven't really dug into his stuff or taken his course or anything. Mm-hmm. But his whole big thing, he posted this GIF, not GIF, of somebody having this like sneered face. And the line says, whenever I hear that somebody tracks their sales off of offers given, right? Yeah. And then somebody was like, what? Because, like, here's the deal. I track my results off of offers given because I need to make sure that you're qualified to work with me, right? And the thing that I'm assuming, right, to ease my own mind, right, in that way I can move on, is that some people just opt out of pitching in the moment based upon how they feel about it.
Oh, that's why he's saying it. You're saying
maybe, right? Because like I've
done the opposite. Like I'll go through a bunch of offers out there to people that I'm on the phone with who weren't qualified, so that then I can pat myself on the back and go, I made 20 offers this week. Good job, Jake.
Exactly, right?
Right. And that's not how you should be tracking your sales.
Yeah. So if you're not going to track it that way, which I don't really recommend, right? The only thing that I can like think about, right, is that there are salespeople who go through the process of qualifying, right, and then decide to opt out of pitching based upon how they feel, right? And if you're doing it based upon how you feel, then I agree that's terrible, right? Like that's not what you should be doing. Right. But if you have a process, well, that's true. But if you're qualifying for fit, right, and you have the checklist of things that you're looking for in your clients, right? Problem you can solve, money they can pay for it, you understand how they get from here to yes, and all of these things that we talk about, then it's going to be easier to like actually know that you want to work with somebody, right? But like I read this thing and I got a little like irritated about it because I was just like,
So I think that works for the person that napalms. I think that'll hit home for the right person like that. The question is, is that the person that he's aiming at? Like, is that his target? Is that something that they deal with and they know they deal with? Because to me, it's a little bit. It's an okay ad, like because for the right person it could work, but it's
this wasn't even an ad. This was just like in his group, But the only other side of it is that you're pitching everybody and you're an annoying ass, right? Like, and on one level, I get the message, right? Because it's enabling the hustle, right? The busyness, right? Let's not worry about productivity. Let's just throw a whole bunch at it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I've been in my head about it because because part of me, right, and this is my cynicism, is like I want to go figure it out. I want to go be like, hey, what do you mean by this? Why is this thing going on? Right. But why? There's no real need to do it.
No, that won't sell any courses for you or any books for you or create any videos with less hum, or it won't do any of that stuff for you.
It won't do any of that stuff.
Yep.
No, it won't. But I just thought it was funny, right? There's always an angle that you can position and build so that way you can proclaim that you're better than the other people, right? And there's like the lifestyle marketing, there's the hustle marketing, there's all of that stuff. So you can build people into a frenzy.
Well, that's why this is so important, right? Positioning, because your job is not to position yourself in a way that gets noticed. Your job is to position yourself to get heard by the right people.
Ooh, I like that.
That's it. That's the goal.
I like that. So yesterday I got a Marco Polo from my BIL here who said that he was going to come by and drop off some books. Right?
Yeah. I got caught behind a wreck for a good long time for 30 minutes or so.
Wait, you were in a wreck?
No, I got caught behind one.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, I feel terrible now.
No. No, I'm going to be back around Friday because I got to swing through town. So I just figured I'd do it then instead. I just forgot to text you afterwards that I didn't make it, but clearly I didn't make it.
Yeah, it was like 8:30 last night, and I wheeled out the trash bins and everything, and then I need to check the porch.
Yeah,
but it was not
my bad.
All good. What do you got today, Bill?
So I'm doing a lot of writing today on my book outline because what I'm actually ended up doing is creating a PDF that's going to be like a lead generator as a basis for exploding the book out from that. So this week my goal is to finish like the 12 to 15 page PDF version of my book, the draft, so that I have like everything there I need. And then after that, I'll start writing chapters. So I kind of crafted that because I've written books two ways. One is I've gone from outline to then dictate. So then I'll just go talk through the chapters and then come back and do all the editing and stuff like that. And then the other way is I've actually created mini versions, like little pod versions of the concepts I want on social media, like just little content pieces. And on social media, they'd be like articles or kind of a little more extended pieces. And then I'll assemble them up into something. So I've done that from a ghostwriting standpoint, where I've taken people's stuff over the years and assembled it into a book. And so I'm kind of taking that approach here, as I'm going to create like a mini version and then build onto it.
Oh,
yeah. So lots of writing today. Really, I've got a few meetings. I booked a couple more episodes for the Clarity and Purpose podcast. So psyched about that. So yeah, that's mostly what I got. What about you?
So I have a meeting with Jordan Levi. Kind of catch up with them. I have a session with my coach, real estate group, mastermind. Got a bit of a break. Got private coaching at 1 and 2, and then that's it.
Well, here's what I learned today. I have to go back to saying GIF again.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
That way everyone can be happy.
If you like to be halfway right, yes, that is correct.
Yes, that way there's no conniptions. Everyone can just go back to everyone be calm.
if what I displayed could be defined as a conniption, man, I must be fit for the psycho ward.
Or I am for interpreting it that way.
Man, I worked until 7:15 last night.
Okay.
Melissa.
Like good or bad?
Well, it's not really anything. It's just a thing, right? Melissa she's got this kind of weird rash thing. She probably doesn't want me talking about it, but came out of nowhere. We don't have any idea like what it is. And so she was working, but then she was napping and trying to rest and everything. So she was there. Alice was doing her thing, and no one really needed anything from me. So it was just like, let's just keep working, right? So
did you stop though? Did you stop at 4:30 or 5 to check in on everybody? And
I did, right? I did go through. I checked on everybody. Everybody was okay, and like worked like they were kind of working on their own stuff, right? So it's like, well, I have things to do. Melissa is kind of doing a little bit of like edits on the videos to like take out like the little 5 seconds at the front of it, just to make sure that they're all solid. Every course or every segment of the course has got like some homework, so that way I can like actually collect thoughts and ideas from people as they're working through the content. And yeah, man, like built more kind of a landing page. I probably need some story brand elements in there for the content. But this platform is legit. I'm not building this in Go High Level. I'm building this in Heights, which is something I got from AppSumo. Okay. It's $50 one time, and it's legit. Connects to Stripe. You can build landing pages. You can track your students. It's awesome. I don't know how I'm going to tie it to Go High Level for like a bundle, but I'll figure that out later.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I worked way too late. And that was part of it, I think, right? Part of my, like, I was just surly whenever I got done, right? Because it was cold as crap yesterday, so I didn't do any walking, and I didn't really do any kind of like stoicism reinforcement. And I worked until 7 o'clock last night.
Yeah, you left your pattern yesterday.
Oh yeah, pretty substantially. So
yeah.
Today will be better.
Yep. Well, good observation then.
I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? Like that's why the journaling, right? The very first line of my journaling last night was like, surly, huh?
Surly much?
After that, it was just like a series of questions trying to figure out why I was surly and is it necessarily a bad thing and everything else like that. And just realized the greatness of being able to wake up in the morning and not really feeling motivated to work and being able to put in my headphones and going for my walk and coming back like jacked to work.
Yes.
Just by the greatness of that, there's going to be downfall whenever I don't do that thing consistently, right?
Yeah.
Like this routine gets me jacked to work, so that lack of routine is going to have an impact in some way. So
yeah, I watched a Brendan Burchard video from 2014 that I ran across in my favorites, like just kind of like I was going through my YouTube favorite list and cleaning things up, and rewatched it for about 15 minutes, and he just talks about taking negative thoughts and being mindful of them, and then going, I don't want that one right now, and then thinking what would be the opposite, and build that out in your mind. And he said, if you do that activity every day, eventually you become an optimist. Your brain goes, negative thought, what would the opposite of that be? Positive thought. So kind of same idea. Some stuff I did last night.
All right, Bill. Well, let's go get to it, and then tomorrow's Thursday, which means it's Thursday. So
yeah.
Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Levi. Thank you, Chris Rivera. Thank you, Chris Rivera, for being on the side of sanity in this debate. I appreciate that.
Yes, GIF, guys. GIF.
Yes. We'll see you guys in the morning. Thank you so much, everybody. Cheers.